Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a short flight today from Southampton into Shoreham. The catch with a very simple flight like this is that we are doing an IFR on VATSIM in the A2A Cherokee. And simply put, IFR instrument flight rules, so we're not allowed to use any visual reference points or basically anything to do with looking out the window until of course we come to the landing phase. So what we're going to do, simply put, we're going to depart from Southampton. We're going to fly a southerly course. We're actually going to fly on the outbound radial from SAM VOR 180 degrees, and we're going to fly until we start to intercept the 270 inbound radial from Goodwood. And just to clarify, actually, an outbound radial is actually called an outbound radial, and an inbound radial is called a reciprocal radial. I believe that's the way it works, or it's the other way around. But I think I got that right. So we're going to do the reciprocal radial of 270. We're going to come in, which is actually heading of 090 into Goodwood, and then from Goodwood we're going to do an outbound radial of 100, and that will take us very close to Shoreham, where we will have a chat with Shoreham approach, courtesy of Callum Presley, and we're going to get some vectors to land at Shoreham. One thing to note, Shoreham does not have any localizer or glide slope or anything. It's not manned with that, but there is an NDB and a DME, but they're not really aligned with the runway, so I'm not quite sure the best thing to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto Nat's website. Excuse all my stuff up at the top there. It's Nat's website. We're going to go Shoreham, and we're going to have a look. VDF, RNAV, chart, NDB, bum. He's going to get us to do a non-precision approach, instrument approach. Yeah, let's have a look at 20. Oh, that's not going to help me. Let's have a look at this one, NDB. That is an NDB and a DME. And of course, I didn't realize that this is exactly what I was going to be doing. But this is basically, we're going to fly. We're going to come along, and this is picking up straight from where we left off in the part 1 of the non-precision approach. Not that this is part 2 of precision approach. Eric Lund is still flying around Europe, and he has to get home to Norway to be able to come on and do part 2 of that for me. This is not part 2. This is just a video on general IFR traffic. I'm going to probably ask Callum if I can do vectors into the runway as opposed to this this approach, this NDB and DME approach, because I want to save that particular approach for part 2. So I'm just going to minimize that, and I'm going to get into VATSIM now, get onto online, and I'm going to have a chat with Callum Presley in an instant messenger thing on VATSIM and just ask him if this is going to be feasible. So I will see you folks back in the aircraft. Hi folks, so here we are in the aircraft. Finally, we ran up against a few small snags, as you do all the time on VATSIM. I don't even know if I want to explain them all. But here we are at Southampton. I just rechecked VATSIM there. We had London control on, but he's just gone. So all we have in terms of ATC, I'm afraid, is my aircraft is moving forwards. Let me just bring my propeller down slightly. Okay, so all we have in terms of ATC at the moment is Shoreham approach, courtesy of Callum Presley. I've had a chat with him. He says that the best thing to do with Shoreham, because Shoreham has no localizer or ILS or glide slope, is because we're still in the daytime, it's perfectly acceptable in IFR to approach the airfield in IFR and then switch to a visual approach. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly the route IFR, and then we are going to as soon as we get within sight of the airfield, we're going to do a visual approach. So we're going to join right downwind for 20, and then we'll land our normal way. So despite it being not like it normally is, well, it is a Monday night, guys, so I can't be terribly picky in terms of ATC on VATSIM. It's not like a Sunday or a Saturday night. But here I am, and I wanted to put something small and sweet out for you folks, because I haven't really been churning a lot out, I know, but I wanted to give you something before Eric Lund gets back for part 2 of the non-precision approaches, the NDB DME approach to Guernsey video. That's the part 2 video that is not out yet, is because he's basically flying all over Europe for his training, so he's not currently at home to do that. So I want to do this for you guys, just to wet my whistle in terms of IFR in this aircraft. I have done some IFR last night, and it was fun, and I recorded everything, and it would have been lovely, but then a problem happened with the recording, so I'm not able to let you guys hear that or see that. So here I am. I'm going to talk a little bit about the autopilot system in the Cherokee. I still have a lot of learning to do with this aircraft, folks, so don't go too hard on me. I'm sure you can if you want to, but let me just tune. Shoreham approach is 123 decimal 123.15. Okay, so that's ready to go whenever I need to call in Shoreham approach. If you go and have a look over at Plan G, folks, you'll see that things have changed. As I said to you in the first part of the video, which is now actually... Oh, I just moved my throttle. Let's not do that. As I just showed you in part 3, the first part of the video, it's not actually going to work out with radials because I don't really put them into my flight plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a direct to an NDB down here in Bembridge, and then I'm going to go direct to the VOR in Goodwood, and then I'm going to go direct to Shoreham from there. So I will be using a radial inbound to Goodwood and outbound to Goodwood as well, and then I'm going to do a direct heading to... Oh no, actually I can do an outbound radial of Southampton. That's a good idea. So let me just plot that in now in the nav stack. So got full tanks of fuel, so that's all good. Let's just have a look at my nav stack here. What we need is from Southampton to Bembridge is a heading of that's not 58. That's okay. Yeah, heading of 154. So in our in our stack, sorry. 113.35 is Southampton. Well, and actually, because I was flying last night from Southampton on IFR on VATSIM, and I was actually using the Southampton VOR, you can see that my frequency's still in here. So that's persistent aircraft and all that. That's a good one for A2A there. Good little plug. Right, so I've just made that active, and now you can see in my nav1 instrument here the VOR has come alive. So now we need to tune it to the outbound heading of 154. So we do that by twisting this. West, we don't want to be going west. We want to be going the other way. East, a little bit more. 15. Oop! I was looking at my thing. The other 146, 148, 15, 151, 152, 3. 4. Boom. Right. That is going to be set, and as soon as we take off, we will turn to intercept that that radial, and we will be going into the India Whiskey NDB at Bembridge, and that is a frequency of 426. So let's put that in the frequency slot here. That's 426. It's always a bit spammy, because my frames probably aren't terribly good. Let's just put that over, and let's just have a look over and see if that needle does anything. It may not do. The needle may not directly pick up the NDB since we're on the ground, or the range, or the power of the NDB may not be long enough range to reach us up here. Let me just have a look on Plan G. NDB range. No, it looks like it's a big enough range to be able to cover quite far. So let's just hide. Let's just hit NDB range again. So it must be because we are on the ground and not able to pick up the frequency yet until we take off. So we will we'll have a look for that. Other than that, the next thing I'm going to put in, because a pilot should always be prepared, is the Goodwood VOR of 11. Let me just have a look at that. 114.75. So just plug that in. 114.75. So that's ready and standby nav 1. I'm actually going to plug that into nav 2. And I will tell you the reason for why I'm doing this just in a second. 7.5. If I plug that into nav 2, is nav 2 going to pick that up? 114.75. Is that the correct frequency? 114.75. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why that's being picked up, but basically I'm going to tune this radial in nav 2 so that as I see this nav 2 Goodwood come alive, I know that I'm going to get ready to turn on to the radial so that I don't overshoot. It'll make more sense on Plan G, you'll see in a minute. But our heading to Goodwood is going to be 054. So let's put that in now. That's going to be 053, 054. Okay, right. Let's come out of this view here. Here I am in the Cherokee QNH 1017. Just in the evening, you can see my lovely paint scheme here. Just been recently painted, as you can see. If you very faintly see the old identification code on the side that's been painted over. It's very shiny, very glistening, very beautiful. Oh, it's just it's all beautiful. I will provide a link, I believe, in the comments section of YouTube to if you folks want to get this this livery off, or this paint scheme off the A2A forums. I've just modified it slightly, of course, but it is done by a user on the A2A forums. So, without anything else in our path, let's get ready to go. So, actually, let me pull up the Cherokee checklist, because these videos, I continually need to be challenging myself, or else I go stupid. Despite the fact that I'm already stupid, but anyway. Let's just pull up. No, that's the wrong way. It's the wrong way. It's not in there. It's in here. Cherokee manual. Boom. Alright, let's just close that. Okay, pull up the manual and let's go to Normal Procedures, page 62. Folks, you can follow along in your own Cherokee PDF given to you by A2A whenever you download the aircraft and buy it and download it. I'm just going to go to, I've finished it, I've done the starting and warm up, I've done the ground check, and I'm ready for the takeoff checklist. Controls free, flaps up, tab set, mixture rich, carburetor heat off, fuel on proper tank, electric fuel pump on, engine gauges normal, door latched, altimeter and heading set, safety belts, shoulder harnesses. Okay, controls free. Yeah, let me see. The only one that I have not got set at the moment is my electric fuel pump. So let me just go and turn that on now. Let's go down here. Electric fuel pump on. Boom. We are pretty much set to go. So let me just make... I'm on Unicom right now, which is the VATSIM safe channel. ATC chat. Let me just go to chat com1. So EGHI traffic, Golf, Lima, India, Foxtrot, Romeo, taxiing runway 20. That should be enough right now. Okay, that's local on com1. Actually, no, it should be it should be on Unicom. Never mind. But let's just go. Okay, break off. We're already starting to move. By the way, folks, I tell you, this aircraft, absolutely stunning. It looks beautiful. I've been doing some long-range flying in this, and this aircraft has some long-range capabilities. I didn't realize how far this thing can go. This can go, depending on how you fly the aircraft. Really, that's the beauty of these aircraft. Really, it's not a number in a box. It's not RNG. It's not a random number generator in that sense. It does have a life of its own, really, and it's all modeled and everything. So, depending on your mixture settings, on your altitude, on your cargo loadout, you can get. I've seen capabilities of 700 nautical miles and a little bit more than that. If you fly it right and if you've got the right loadout and only one person in the cabin. So I've been actually thinking of doing some. I've been really wanting to do some ferry flights with this, and I'm not sure. I think videos on YouTube videos on ferry flights would be quite boring, I would say, because that's just a long time sitting there doing nothing. So I was thinking, and you guys, please give me feedback on this. I was thinking of actually designing, instead of a video, designing comic strips of FSX flights. I will get back to that in a second as I say EGHI traffic Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo backtracking for runway 20. Right. And everything looks clear. My map is clear. No one seems to be around at the moment. Let me just make a double check of VATSIM on VATSPY. I always just double ping VATSPY in case. Oh, okay. Heathrow approach is on. I am the only one within the radius of about 20 miles, which is probably a very good idea, a good thing, because okay, flaps notch 1. It's probably a good idea because I'm flying IFR in a Cherokee. But in terms of the systems, folks, the autopilot systems, I've been flying around with this thing, and the more I fly this aircraft, the more capable it feels to me. For actually it feels more capable as an IFR aircraft now than the Cessna does, weirdly. And the reason for me to say that is that it feels more intuitive. The autopilot systems feel more intuitive than the Cessna. The Cessna is more advanced. The autopilot is, you could say, it has more features than the Cherokee. But in terms of flying the Cherokee, flying the Cherokee's autopilot system is more intuitive than the Cessna's one, and it's just easier to operate. And I think it requires less brain workload than the autopilot system of the Cessna. Maybe that's just me. I've never flown in never really flown in real life before, so you guys can reprimand me all you like, but that's just how I feel. So I'm actually looking forward to doing some really good IFR, content on YouTube to come. Another point, folks, about my channel, I'm almost reached 1,500 subscribers, so thank you very much, everyone, for coming along for the ride. And I've also very recently joined the TNG Gamer Network, which may bring a few slight changes to the channel, but in terms of my vision for the channel and in terms of YouTube content, nothing will change. It just TGN Gamers Network might just open up for me some different opportunities for content and so forth. So, but there's not going to be any less content or any. Hopefully there'll be more content as I try and endeavour to streamline my work better. Let's just have a chat. EGHI traffic Golf Lima India Foxtrot ready for. Oh crap! Ready for takeoff. Runway 20. Someone just posted in Unicom on approach runway 26 left at EGKK, and I for a split second thought it was for here, and I was like, what? He's gonna land right on top of me. But anyway, right. Let's just do a really quick Takeoff checklist. Climb. Oh, actually, no. I just read the takeoff checklist the last time. Duh. Flaps up. Flaps up for takeoff? Really? Okay. Mixture rich. Carburetor heat off. Electric fuel pump. Gauges. Door. Altimeter. Belts. Right. Okay. So flaps are up then. That's interesting. Anyway, ready to go. So, because this is an IFR flight, I'm going to be popping, and just gradually increase my throttle here. I want long life out of this engine. Let's just bring on my yoke, because I'm going to need my yoke in a minute, you'll see. Okay, here we go. Starting to feel the wind now. And we're up. This thing takes hardly. It's a bit like the Cessna. It really wants to fly. And we are already up, folks. So already trimming. I'm already trimming for some stable flight here. And as you can see, you really start to gain speed very quickly. Right, I'm going to flick on the autopilot. As you can see, all the lights go on to begin with. And I'm going to go as soon as I can to high frequency track, which is actually, that means it's going to start tracking nav1. If you see, it says track low and high. Low and high mean low and high frequency, I believe. To cut a long story short, it means actually, folks, 154. Actually, I'm going to go back to heading hold, because I want to show you something actually that's happening on Plan G. If you guys look on Plan G right now, you'll see that I am to the right hand side of my track. Now, a more efficient way of pulling me back onto that track is actually using heading mode, and actually manipulating my heading bug to get directly on the track, and then switching to track mode, to nav mode, rather than just hitting nav mode straight away and watching my plane just lollop all across the sky. Because the radial we're following is a fairly short radial in terms of tracking radials. It's not too far away. I don't really have the time to acquire it in the normal way. Actually, 154. Okay, now I've set. Now I'm pretty much on. Now I'm pretty much on the track, as you can see. I'm going to actually pull my throttle back. I'm going to put on my high frequency track. Now we're following the VOR radial. So I'm not using the the heading mode anymore. I'm going to pull back my throttle to 75%, and you can see my vertical ascent is changing. Okay, once we get up to 3,000 feet, we are going to switch over to. Oh, we're actually going down. We're actually going down. Okay, instead of using my trim to ascend, I'm actually going to just manually pull the yoke back there slightly. You can use your trim to ascend or descend. 220. Why am I 220? I should be 1200. Squawk. That's the general. No, that's VFR. IFR. What is IFR? Is it 220? 200? I can't remember. Not right now. Okay, I'm going to get to 3,000 feet and then going to level off, and I'm going to use the altitude hold. Ready? 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 Boom. Right, altitude hold. You press that little black button on the yoke to engage altitude hold. Took me a while to figure that out, but and then you see the blue light in the altitude button is now selected. If you look at Plan G, you can see we have engaged the radial in a very sharp manner, and that is because I used heading mode to get us onto the track without letting us you know, go randomly all across the sky to and let the system try and find the track itself. We found the track for it, plonked ourselves on the track, so we made it easy for the system, basically. Right, so we are now tracking an outbound of Southampton radial, and we are coming inbound to our DME. Now, we need to switch our tracker from frequency back to the normal mode, which is tracking our active navigation point, RMT, and you can see we're actually getting further and further away from the Southampton VOR. So we actually have to figure out how far is the Southampton VOR to the India Whiskey NDB, and if we look on Plan G, it says distance 18.8 nautical miles. So now we know. Actually, let me just pull back my throttle a little bit more, because you can see I'm on the edge of my cautionary speed right there. Clouds are lovely right now. Let me just have a look. I can't see anyone screaming at me on VATSIM, which means I should still be okay. Following a very smart navigation there on Plan G. I can see a plane off to my left hand, right up there. It's Boeing. What was I saying? Right, so once we're 9 nautical miles away from Southampton. Once we reach 18.8, we will see our Goodwood radial come alive, or actually we'll probably see the Goodwood radial come alive at about 18 nautical miles, so about another 9 nautical miles, and as soon as we see this needle start to move, we will then flick Goodwood from our standby nav1 into our active nav1, and then we will retune the heading to track an inbound radial to Goodwood of 054, and that will bring us in. Actually, no, we won't do that. We'll do we'll do the smart thing, which is what I did just previously. I will actually flick back to my heading mode, and then I will flick the heading to 054, and then we will go and we will track 054 heading, and then I will flick back over to the nav, and that's just a much smarter way, a much quicker way of sticking on to radials, if you like, because as I've said, oh, look at that, ooh, attention span of a goldfish. Look at that lovely sunset, and look at that wing, that golden wing, that shiny wing. I love everything about FSX, and hate everything about it at the same time. When it doesn't work, let's just move ourselves out. That is lovely. That is lovely. I've got FSX, I've got my install to the point where it's just about starting to behave every time I turn it on. Which is great, you know. So we're approaching the Isle of Wight now, and I can see an aircraft in front of me on Plan G, and you can see he's right above me, 2.1 nautical miles, 10,000 feet. Just he's probably going somewhere nice and warm. Yeah, and all of this lovely cloud I can fly through now because I'm in IFR, and I don't really care about visual flight rules. Until I get to Shoreham, that is. And you can see Bembridge Airfield ahead, and that reminds me of my training for Kicks VFR Club with Mel Kirk. He took me down from Shoreham to Bembridge and introduced me to navigation and all that fun stuff. Ah, the days, time flies. But yeah. So there really shouldn't be low disk space on my PC. I hope that's not going to be a problem. You are running out of disk space on your C drive. Please free space on this drive or delete old unnecessary files. Click here. Right. Okay. If my Plan G if my Plan G recording runs out on me, folks, and my laptop dies, then let's see if I can just free some space here, folks. 14.8 nautical miles. Let's just see how much space I have on my C drive. Let's go to my computer. Oh crap. Yeah, that's not going to work. What am I going to do? Actually, I'm going to fly without Plan G. You know what? So folks, if I just pan over, that was a bit stupid. I should have thought about that before I began. But what I'll do is I'll provide you with a screenshot at the end. Let me just stop that recording now. I will provide you with a screenshot of what I can see on Plan G. I can still see Plan G running, but I'm just not recording it for you anymore. So I'll give you screenshots throughout the process, so that you can see what's going on without me completely killing my my laptop. Let's just pull up. Come on. Work for me. Work for me. My laptop's so slow. Anyway, I digress. Okay, 3,000 feet. And we start to see the Goodwood VOR moving now. And we want to flick that from 154 to 054. The closer we get, 17.4 nautical miles. Here we go. Here we go, folks. It's going to happen. 17. Okay, actually, I'm going to put it over to 054 here. Right about 18.2. Boom. I'm going to change over heading mode, and now it's going to follow the new heading of the new radial, and that will give me time to flick over to Goodwood and track the Goodwood radial of 054. Three to 4. Okay, so I'm turning. I'm not turning fast enough. It's giving me a rate 1 turn, by the way, folks. Really nice rate 1 turn. I'm very impressed, because in IFR mode you should only ever be turning in rate 1s, so now I'm going to flick back over to high frequency track mode, and it's now going to stick ourselves onto the new heading. So that could have been a bit of a smarter. I could have turned sooner so that I don't have to be slightly to the right hand side now, but I'd say that was a pretty smooth transition from Southampton to Goodwood VOR. So so now just let me have a look at Plan G here. Let's just bring me across, and I'm going to set up for the Shoreham approach. Just going to lock into Shoreham, and I'm going to put on the show airport diagram. And I'm going to be landing on 20. Okay, we're actually doing very well. So now that we're established on this track, the next track that we have is the outbound Goodwood track of 097. So let's just put that in the heading right there. Is 097. And yeah, lovely. At the moment, ATC wouldn't really be talking to me too much, so that's not a terribly big deal that he's not on at the moment. But okay, so now let's see if I can do something snazzy with my NDB tracking. Actually, now I want to know how far away I am from Shoreham. So I know that the NDB, the DME at Shoreham, let me see, is 109.95. So that's when I'm going to come down to my radio stack, and instead of using RMT, I flick over to frequency, and I put in 109.95. Like so, and that should, boom, that should give me the range to that NDB. So that is separate from my nav console. That usually tracks what is active in my nav console, but now I've put it to a separate frequency. That's really cool that you can actually track a secondary nav source separate from your active nav source. Okay, so we're coming in 3,000, getting a little bit of rain here. I didn't expect that, but our distance from India Whiskey NDB to Goodwood is 16.9 nautical miles, which we actually don't know because we just switched to there. So let's actually switch back to our active frequency, and we are inbound. Okay, so we'll flick back to frequency mode to track Shoreham once we've passed over Goodwood, but we want to know how far we are away from Goodwood so that we can prepare for the next turn. I may be just over. I may be over working myself here, folks, but this may not be what you do normally in IFR in a plane like this, but I'm here to mentally challenge myself, and that's what I'm doing. So call this a training exercise for greater and bigger things to come. Okay, everything seems to be running okay at the moment. There's no pressing issues. I'm still tracking the NDB about down there, but let's actually go and track Shoreham NDB now, as well as the DME distance. So the Shoreham NDB is 332. So let's just set that. 3. There we go. 332. Change that into active frequency, and boom! Right, we got. So now we've got a range, a direct heading to Shoreham off the nose, and we've got a distance to Shoreham, hiding in our localizer stack thingy there, waiting to be flicked as soon as we pass over Goodwood. So we're 6.2 nautical miles inbound to Goodwood, and as soon as I get, I would say about 5 to 6 miles away from Goodwood, I will call Shoreham approach 10 nautical miles out, and we'll know exactly when 10 nautical miles out we are, because we'll be able to see that on our DME range. So I'm just looking on VATSPI right now, where we've got a lovely clear evening skies. Callum Presley is still on Shoreham approach, and I actually quite like this rain. I like this weather. It's it shows you that FSX isn't always perfect. Not that you'd need to be reminded that FSX is not always perfect, but it just shows you that the weather is well, it's just being very English right now. So I guess we don't mind that. We're IFR. We don't have a care in the world. Lols. Okay, so 4 nautical miles now, so we're getting ready for that turn, and we're probably 0.5 nautical miles to Goodwood. I'm going to change over to heading mode again, and we're going to make a smooth turn onto the outbound radial or reciprocal radial of Goodwood of 097. So if I look out the front window there, we can see Goodwood below us, and actually if you zoom in, you can see there is the VOR right there. That is what a VOR actually looks like in real life, apparently, if you Google them. It looks like a massive, great dish, horizontal dish type thing that just points up into the sky. So 2.3 nautical miles. We're getting close here, folks. Just check my speed. Speed is alright. So you're going to get a good mix of IFR techniques as well as a VFR visual approach, folks, which should be a good idea. Let me just check. Is my landing light still on? I have a feeling my landing light's still on. My landing light is still on. Ah. Okay, 0.15, 0.14, 0.13. 0.1. Okay. I'll call that, right. Heading mode. Boom. Right, we're going to do a turn on to, and you'll see the little indicator on our nav1 flick from inbound to outbound. And you can see that turning there. Let's turn that to 097 now. 2, 4, 6, 097. Right, that's 097 outbound. And we're actually going to stay on heading mode until we our new radial comes into effect. You'll see the needle should swing back to the center. Yep, it's doing so now. Now that we're moving over the VOR, it's sorting itself out. And as you can see, direct heading now to Shoreham. And now let's flick over to frequency, and that should sort ourselves out. 16.5. So quite soon now before we call up Shoreham. Let's just flick over to track mode, nav track mode now again, and we will now start tracking that radial. And so let's now start to prepare what we're going to say to Shoreham approach. Right, okay, so my QNH, let's just do a check on the QNH. Oh, actually no, let's pull up ATIS of Shoreham, which is, oh crap, now this is where everything's going to go wrong. ATIS is 130.97.
This is Shoreham arrival and departure information. Romeo, time 1720, runway news 20 left-hand circuit, surface wind 23014 knots, have OK, temperature +20, dew point +14, QNH 1017, QFE 1017. All aircraft contact Shoreham approach, frequency 123.15. Acknowledge receipt of information.
Okay, so that was pretty clear. Let me just go back and reset a Shoreham approach 123.15. 123.15. Okay, so let me just do one last check of VATSPI, and then we will get ready for calling him in. Okay, let's flick over. We're now on Shoreham approach, and we'll just monitor him for the next mile, and then we'll call in at 11 miles. Actually, let's start to descend. Actually, no, let's call him now because we're at 3,000 feet. Good afternoon, Shoreham approach, Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo. Do a dead call.
Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo, Shoreham approach, good afternoon, pass your message.
Good afternoon, Golf Lima India Foxtrot Romeo is a Type Cherokee 180 with you 3,000 feet due west, range 11 nautical miles with information Romeo, QNH 1017. Boom, that was good. I felt so.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, roger, procedural service, Squawk 3762, and cleared to Sierra Hotel Mike at 3,000 feet.
That is Squawk 3762, inbound to Shoreham at 3,000 feet, Golf Foxtrot Romeo.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, QNH 1017, and what type of approach would you require for runway 20?
Visual approach, please, Golf Foxtrot Romeo.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, roger, descend to altitude 2,200 feet and report the airfield in sight.
Descend 2,200 feet, report airfield in sight, Golf Foxtrot Romeo. Boom, right, okay, off with our altitude hold. And now reduce our throttle almost all the way down, and you'll see our descent, our vertical speed indicator is starting to drop, but we want to trim so that we're actually dropping at say right there is actually good, and our trim wheel is actually on the roof. Just because aviation can't troll you enough, they put the trim wheel on the roof. That was quite a smooth ATC trade-off. I felt quite good about that. Let's just reset my heading indicator, The heading indicator will drift every now and then, depending. Let's just. Oh yeah, we need to remember 2,200 feet. So when we get close, I will actually no, I'm going to pull the autopilot now. You're going to use the autopilot disconnect button right there. So now I'm flying manually, but I am still flying by instruments, so it is still IFR. So I'm still flying on my. So he hasn't told me to do anything else, so I'm still flying on my radial, and I'm flying. Oh, that's 2,200 feet. Golf Foxtrot Romeo, 2,200 feet, and have the airfield in sight.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, roger, cleared visual approach via right base for runway 20. Report right base.
That's cleared visual approach for runway 20 via a right base for 20 Golf Foxtrot Romeo. And why am I at 2,200 feet? My circuit altitude should actually be 1,100 feet. So, I have a question. When in doubt, ask ATC. Shoreham approach, just a quick question. Circuit altitude 1,100 feet?
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, A firm, circuit height 1,100 feet.
A firm, thanks, Golf Foxtrot Romeo. Okay, so I'm actually going to descend.
Shoreham vegetable, you must go just to the west of Goodwood, now leaving frequency.
Golf India Oscar, Squawk 7000, the Portland Regional 101. Approved.
Squawk VFR, following Phoenix 1013, thanks for the service. Golf India Oscar, bye-bye.
I really should be much lower than this, which is why I'm descending rapidly. You see how quickly I can lose 1,000 feet in this thing. Golf Foxtrot Romeo, downwind.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, report final.
Report final, Golf Foxtrot Romeo. Okay, flap. Let's put one notch of flaps. Let's just have a look at my checklists. Hopefully without crashing. Stalls, climbing, cruise, approach landing, fuel on proper tank, mixture rich, electric fuel pump on, flaps set, fasten seat belts. Okay, that's pretty much, I've got that, I'm good. Right, visually, let's just have a look where we are. Okay, that's Shoreham over there. We need maybe another half a mile maybe before I'm going to make my base leg turning, and I'm holding 1,100 quite nicely actually. I'm surprised that things are going so well at this point. I'm actually slightly off course, off heading actually, because I've got a slight crosswind. If you have a look at, let me just take a screeny, boom. Right, took a screenshot. You can see the wind right there. Oh yes, let's just turn my landing light on. Like that, like so. And I'm still too high. Alright, turn my base leg now. Base leg's good. That's a long leg. But I am an IFR. I'm flying IFR. Oop. And during a turn, folks, I should do rate 1 turn, rate 1 turn. There we go. During a turn, you lose a lot of altitude, so you really need to watch that vertical speed, heading, vertical speed indicator when you do a turn, because that really does move. Right. Okay. On base. Still need to be a little lower. Okay. QNH is still good. Last final check. Do I need any specific approach and landing checklist? Landing checklist is all good. Okay, and I'm still too high. Get down, 1,100 feet. You silly thing. Right, coming in on final pretty soon. I'm actually doing a massive, massive, massive circuit. This is just wrong. This is, if there is any failure today, folks, this is it. The fact that I'm doing such a massive, massive, like, final approach. But, okay, let's just make my turn now. And I'm going to do... Oh, yeah, let's make my turn. No more than 30 degrees bank, though. Golf Foxtrot Romeo on a long final for 2-0.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo runway 20, clear to land, surface wind 230 degrees, 14 knots.
Clear to land 2-0 Golf Foxtrot Romeo. Okay. Right, we are good, we're coming in. I could still feel a little bit of wind as we came in, and I think my brother just came through the front door, so you might hear something in the background. Okay. So let's start to slow down now. We've got only one notch of flaps, but this thing flies like an angel. Whenever you put flaps in, it will float forever, so I'm not going to put too much flaps in. Let's see. Okay, throttle coming off now. I'm going to start to glide. And remembering I've got a slight crosswind. I've got an 11 knot wind, but it's not directly 90 degrees off my right hand side. It's kind of like over there, so it doesn't affect me like a head-on 11 knot wind would. Okay, coming down, coming down. Beautiful Orbex Shoreham, by the way. I don't know why the runway's black, but you know, just is. Maybe it'll. Oh no, it's just very dark. I thought it had done something weird. Anyway, coming down, coming down. Coming down, and I can actually feel the wind slightly doing something to the airplane. Let's just do some final trimming. I shouldn't be doing final trimming on this close to final, but oh, yep, my throttle is basically all the way out. So coming down now, right, and then just before we touch down, I'm gonna do a tiny crab. Or a tiny adjustment for that in the rudder. And I almost killed myself on that tree. Did you see that? Slight bit of right rudder. And we're down. That could have been smoother. Actually, I find most of my really smooth landings are all offline or whenever I'm not recording videos. But there we are. Oh, cookies. 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 Ah, my brother made cookies. Yes, Eric Lund, my brother made cookies.
Golf Foxtrot Romeo, vacate left via Alpha, taxi to the main apron.
Vacate left via Alpha, taxi to the maintenance area. Golf Foxtrot Romeo, thanks. Let's just open my window, like so, and so folks, that was just a short jaunt in doing some very basic IFR stuff. Well, I wouldn't say very basic, but basic enough for anyone watching my videos, my previous videos, to pick up quite readily. Whoa. So, let me know if you like this video. Also, do remember, folks, let me know your opinions on maybe a oh my goodness, there's a 737. That's prime FSU IPC aircraft representation fail. But there we are. I don't know how to change it, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about the idea of the comic strip, of ferry flight comic strip. I'm thinking of doing some ferry flights from the UK to North America via Shetland Islands, Faroe Islands, Greenland, Iceland, Northern Canada, all that kind of thing, all that fun stuff. And instead of doing it in video format, I'm thinking of doing it using like a comic strip type thing. which I am a kind of graphic designer by day and video producer by day, so it's something that I'm really interested
Shoreham
in.
approach Golf Lima Charlie Delta, currently 8 miles to your east, inbound for landing.
Golf Lima Papa Charlie Delta, Shoreham approach, evening, squawk 3763, and basic service, report the airfield in sight.
Squawk 763, basic service will report airfield in sight, Golf 3 Delta.
Let's see if I can get Callum Presley to say hi to the viewers. Alright, stop there. Okay, just pull my mixture. Actually, no. Oh. Okay, let's pull my mixture anyway. Actually, no, I won't say hi to the viewers, but anyway. Golf Foxtrot Romeo shut down. Thank you very much for ATC, and say hi to the viewers.
Golf Fox Romeo, thanks for flying, and hello to the viewers.
Thanks, bye. Boom, there we are, folks.
Thanks, bye now.
Okay. Just turn stuff down. Let's just have a look at the outside model here. Engine heater, tie downs, wheel chocks, control lock,
Golf Lima Charlie Delta, airfield in sight.
pitot
Golf
cover,
Charlie Delta, thank you. Join and report left.
and
runway
empty plane.
20, Cherokee 1017.
Look at that, beautiful.
We'll join left base for 20, Golf Charlie Delta.
Beautifulness. Pure beauty. Beautifulness. Right, okay, thanks folks for joining me, and I will catch you later in the next video. I'm going to upload is most likely going to be part 2 of the non-precision approach to Jersey. My goodness, look at that 737, with Eric Lund once he gets back from his gallivanting across Europe.